Hey, what's up, guys? My thoughts on tarot readers, that's card readers, and psychics, and do I think that they're legitimate, or do I think they're hocus pocus? And what I can say, I'm going to talk about some of my experiences. What I can say is, I think that a lot of people in the world, I think everybody has the ability to be empathic. I think everybody has the ability to be somewhat psychic and to be able to see patterns in terms of how things might play out. Meaning, if you can interpret, okay, how someone is, and then kind of, look at a situation and see, okay, make some sort of prediction as to what is going to happen. Is that logic, or is that, feelings and intuition? Again, I don't really know a lot about this topic, but I do have friends that, have kind of a clairvoyance about them, their ability to see things when other people can't really see them. And not always, but a lot of the times, what they saw ends up coming true. So what they predicted, what they felt. So over the years, I have had experiences with spirituality through meditation. And I'm getting a call. One sec, guys. All right, so there's a YouTuber. Her name is Stargirl, and she does these tarot readings, and she does them online, and they're free, and you just choose a card. And I thought they were a lot of fun. Like, I was like, okay, this woman is good at what she does. These readings are really uplifting, whether they're true or not. Some of the things were related to characteristics. Like, she was like guessing my characteristics or something, and they were really on point. And then I looked at some of the other ones, and they weren't as on point as the one that I chose. So I had a lot of fun with that, and I ended up seeing that you could get readings from her. Now, she doesn't do this anymore, because when I came across her, it was right at the time she started becoming really popular. And now she's got like over 500,000 followers and stuff, which, I mean, that would be impossible if you had all these people sending you requests to do, card readings. But I sent her requests, and like maybe a month or two later, I got an email from her saying, hey, Mike, I don't do this anymore, but you actually sent me an email before I made the cut. So you're good. I'll do your reading. And it was really interesting because I didn't share this before. I've talked about it in other videos, but I got the video from her, and it was like a private video on YouTube, and I tapped it, and she was apologizing immediately and telling me that she could give me my money back, if I wasn't satisfied. But she said she did my reading twice. She did it the night before, and then she thought she was reading her own energy, and she did it the day after, and she pulled the exact same cards. And there was just a warning. It was just a warning for me. And my question was related to soulmates and twin flames. Do I have a twin flame? I think it was, do I have a twin flame? And twin flames are kind of like, there are all these labels in spirituality. Twin flames are supposed to be someone who is kind of sort of like a soulmate, sort of like that other half concept, but not really, because we're not. It's very unhealthy to think of someone as your other half. We're all whole, and you can choose to be with whoever you want. So that sort of thing. But I just meaning is there someone like a soulmate sort of person? That is a whole conversation in itself. The difference between soulmates and the difference between twin flames. I'm not going to get into that. You can look into that if you're interested. And she said, you had a question. You had this question, and all I can give you as a warning is there's either one or a few women that are coming into your life that are not good for you, that are really not good for you, and you should know. She's like, you seem pretty intuitive. You should know that just be aware of these things. You may be able to acknowledge this, but I'm just giving you this is what's coming up, so be careful. And it's funny because that year I forget, this was like last year or 2 years ago, and there was a number of women that were like coming up into my life, and they were like questionable, and I was thinking to myself, like, this is cool that this person's pursuing me, but it wasn't, it didn't hurt that I had the reading, because it's kind of like another voice, but like I truly, like, I'm pretty good at distinguishing, like, is this person good for me, or is there something going on there? And you don't want to be too judgmental, because you never really truly know somebody. And I see that's part of like empathic psychic, like you can over assume something, or you can misjudge somebody. But I remember showing this to my mom, and she just got, my mom was really pushing dating, like, it was like a year or two ago. And then she like was listening to the video. She's like, you know what, Mike, you should maybe just like hold on for a bit and just work on yourself. And I was laughing. I was like, I know, it is pretty freaky, right? But that is an instance of what I would call a good reading. Because the whole time she literally, I mean, like, I'm just telling you, the overall vibe of this thing was she was just apologizing to me and just telling me, like, you can have your money back. Like, I'm not, I know you asked me a question, but like, this is what I'm getting. This is all I'm getting. So that was intense. That was my first experience with tarot. And then my experiences to come after that, I've gotten like palm readings that's kind of similar to tarot, but instead of with tarot, it's with your palms. I went to a really good woman. It was a place in Chicago called the Spiritual Boutique, I believe. And she said some helpful information and kind of some private information, because she didn't know who I was. She didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about her. I don't actually even remember her name, but she was cool. And she was just telling me sort of information that I hadn't told anyone, and she was kind of helping me resolve a few things. And that was cool. It was really quick. I went to a woman who was horrible. There was a woman, I forget what hers was called. I don't like the smack talk, but you can just kind of do your own research. And sometimes when you look under the reviews, you'll be like, okay, yeah, this person's full of it. But it gets me thinking, like, how do you make your living being a con person? Maybe in her head she thinks this other, not the Spiritual Boutique woman, she's great. Maybe this other woman actually thinks she's legitimate, but like, she was just wanting more money. She was saying I'm covered with evil, and that, but she can, with a small price of she had some number, like hundreds of dollars. I'm like, lady, like, you're asking me for $50, like, for this freaking reading. Like, this is way more. Like, I was expecting something like, she didn't give me a price. I thought it was like 25. And I'm not going to fight with the woman. I just want to be let go. Just let me go. It was a little less than 50, but I was like, thank you for your fake reading. I'm going to leave. So there are con people. So you kind of have to like just size it up. I kind of had the feeling when I was on the phone with this other woman, that she was fake, but she's like, come in now, this is my opening. I was being polite. In the future, I'm not afraid. If something seems a little off, I'm not going to be afraid to just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it, family emergency. Yeah, well, another time, and then never call back. But yeah, I've had palm readings. I had another palm reader that wasn't that good, So it's going to be back and forth. It's really, at the end of the day, like, you have to ask yourself, am I doing this for fun? If I am, then, you might take the loss if it's not great. If you are actually, like, you want, like, a proper reading, you have to look into, are these people, like, do they have kind of a good record? Like, do other people who have gotten readings from them, are they like, okay, this person was helpful in this respect? Because when you're playing with like the metaphysical, you're either going to get something that really blows your mind, something that makes you go, wow, how do they do that? How do they know that? That's incredible. That's like magic. It's like magic that they actually knew that. Or you're going to get people that are like, okay, it makes you think like, okay, these people are trying to take advantage of others, and they're a bunch of hocus pocus. That's all they're selling here. So anyway, it is cool, because being someone who's been involved in spirituality, who's meditated, who's gotten chakra cleanses, I do know, and legitimate, and people, the times that I've gotten like legitimate readings are ones that I actually resonate with. I do know that there is something more going on, but at the same time, you kind of have to just size it up yourself because, like I said, there's a lot of fake stuff too. So, cool beans, guys. Peace. Have a good one.